I remember being injured at the time. I just had to have an injection, and sort of the first time that I'd had to get through a game. I made a tackle right at the end of the game, and I celebrated just because of the tackle, and then she blew the whistle. The emotion of just sort of thinking, wow, I've got through it. You know, picking up silverware for Arsenal is never something that I take for granted. Hi, I'm Leah Williamson, and I've had the honour of making 150 appearances for this fantastic football club, but these are the matches that made me. Millwall 0, Arsenal 4, July 2014. So this was the game that I scored my first Arsenal goal in. So this is what makes me laugh. I was playing left back and Yanks is in front of me on the wing. Yanks has probably gone and got on the ball and I'm just thinking, get out of the way. And then the ball actually ends up back at my feet. I think it was all just a bit impulsive, and the turn and the strike, but who's complaining? It was a good goal to have as my first, I think. And I just remember I had Yanks on the wing, Kelly playing in the middle. I mean, Alex was on the pitch and Bernie was probably on the pitch as well. But to me, that moment to share it in that company meant a lot to me. And I think Kelly told me, "You're going to score," and then I actually did. So to me, just, you know, when you think about back to moments, that one it was almost like it was meant to be. So yeah, it was a big moment for me, surrounded by my heroes. Brighton 0, Arsenal 4, April 2019. This was obviously the game that we won the title, the WSL, my first and Arsenal's first in 7 years. So it was a big day. I actually had the worst game I've ever had in an Arsenal shirt, so it's funny that this even makes the list, but I think it's such a big occasion. When Viv scored that first goal, I was almost crying in the celebrations already, so hopefully that was the reason why I had such a bad game, the emotion. But I'll never forget that day as a whole. I had all my family in the crowd, and another one of them that just sort of set up perfectly and was almost meant to be. Chelsea 0, Arsenal 5, October 2018. To beat your rivals and to win so convincingly, you could almost say from that moment you felt like you go from saying we can win this league to we're going to win the league. I'm a big believer of not engaging in too much chat pre or post match. I think football does the talking, and you can never hide from the results. So to get a result like that in such a big game was very important for us at the time, and it will always mean a lot to me. Birmingham 0, Arsenal 1, March 2019. This was the game when we secured Champions League. Again, the first time in a long time that the club had got back into the Champions League spots. And knowing how hard of a game Birmingham away is, it could have been the hiccup of our season. Not only would a win put us in a good position to win the league and see out the league, but it was obviously so important to us to get the Champions League spot, and that meant the world to me and the girls, and I actually did cry when Katie scored that goal. I'm useless really, it just the emotion sort of took over, and when I was running in to celebrate, I couldn't hold myself together. Katie actually looked at me in the time, sort of pointing at me, and I thought, yeah, I know, I felt that. I felt that one. So yeah, that was a great game from the league winning season. It was a pretty special one for me. Tottenham 0, Arsenal 2, November 2019. In terms of an occasion, it's probably one of the best I've ever played in. The first North London derby at their stadium in front of 46,000 people or whatever crazy amount of people was there. I feel like I was really spoiled with that experience. Even just to have like an actual away section in the crowd, and we don't normally have that in women's football, and when we scored, the roar and the silence of the rest of the stadium and the roar from our fans, you still dream of those moments of being in front of that many people and having that sort of exposure for our game. And I just think it was the most perfect occasion, and that is what football is all about. And obviously, being a lifelong Arsenal fan, to get the win against Spurs on their turf in front of that many people is not one that I'll ever forget really. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0, March 2018. So this was I think the first piece of silverware for Joe as manager, and it felt like a really sort of big win for us. What we'd been saying under Joe and what we'd been saying we were going to do as a team and where we were looking to go, this needed to be a step that we took to claim that silverware. I remember being injured at the time. I just had to have an injection. I'd hurt my knee, and sort of the first time that I'd had to like get through a game almost. And I think I made a tackle right at the end of the game to keep them out of the box basically. And I celebrated just because of the tackle, and then she blew the whistle. But the emotion of just sort of thinking, like, I've got through it. So yeah, it was a great day, to be honest. And picking up silverware for Arsenal is never something that I take for granted. But I'm also aware of the legacy that was left before me, and to be able to add to that means a lot to me. Arsenal 1, Chelsea 0, May 2016. Probably my proudest moment in an Arsenal shirt to win the FA Cup at Wembley. Things that you literally dream of, and things that you talk to your family about, and do you reckon one day this will ever happen, or do you reckon I'll ever get the opportunity to do this? And actually I did, and to be there, to be part of that team again, to have the legends in the team that were in there at the time, it means a lot to me to have made it onto the same pitch as them, let alone to actually win something side by side. Obviously Dan Carter's goal she'll never let us forget, but it deserves all the credit it gets. Kelly did a slide tackle in the first 10 seconds of the game, and that was it. I looked at Emma Byrne, she looked at me, and she said, we're going to win today. And that power of just being at Arsenal, and the power that somebody like Kelly had to add to the team. And yeah, I'm very grateful for those moments. Arsenal 2, Everton 0, June 2014. My first FA Cup final as an Arsenal player, Milton Keynes, my hometown. I think I had about 100 people in the crowd. I didn't start, but I'd played every game in the lead up to it, so I really felt like, for it being my breakout season, I really felt part of the team, and like I'd contributed to that win. I'd actually won the FA Youth Cup the year before for Arsenal, and I'd said to my mum the year before, I want to win the FA Cup next year, not the Youth Cup, and it seemed so far away. To actually get into that team and be present. There was a couple of injuries, so I was lucky I got a shot that I probably wouldn't have got otherwise. So yeah, to be involved and to be there and to win. I came on for my best mate at the time, and just everything was just so great for me. So yeah, that was a big moment, and my first silverware for Arsenal, so I'll never forget. Arsenal 1, Manchester City 0, May 2019. Every single thing about the day was perfect. We'd already won the league. There was no pressure, obviously, with the result, but we wanted to go out on a high, and Manchester City had been unbeaten so far, and there was something that didn't sit quite right about winning the league and another team actually hadn't lost, kind of thing. We wanted to win. Obviously a guard of honour is a special thing in football. There's a lot of respect between the teams, but nobody ever obviously wants to give somebody else a guard of honour. So the fact that we had that, and then had to follow it with a performance, and to leave it so late to actually win it, and in such style as well. Emma Mitchell had been out for so long, came back and hit one of the best goals she'll ever score. Obviously we didn't want anything to dampen down the mood basically of lifting the trophy, so to then be able to do that knowing that you just won, and there was nothing else to worry about, basically we'd taken care of everything. It was a great feeling. Chelsea 3, Arsenal 5, May 2014. In my breakout season, so many legends on the pitch, and feeling like I was so inadequate, but actually thinking the team need me, I'm going to have to step up. The girls have sort of, I know what it means, but they're making sure that I'm switched on and all this, like looking after me. And I just felt like to get through that, I think it was extra time, Kelly Smith scored a couple of worldies, to get through that game, to really feel part of a team, my team, and the team that I'd always wanted to be a part of, with players that I'd always looked up to. Yeah, those kind of moments in football, sometimes it's not necessarily, we didn't win the trophy that day, but to me that felt like we had definitely the best game I've ever played in as an Arsenal player to date, and I could probably tell you everything that happened in that game. I don't think I'll ever forget it.